Hey guys, welcome to Find the Adventure. My name is Heather. So glad you're here. Looking behind me on such a beautiful sunny day, it is so hard to believe or imagine that the rest of the world, well, us included, are experiencing a pandemic. And our stores are out of many of the products we normally buy. There's no toilet paper in my stores. People are buying water. They're in a frenzy buying pretty much everything they can get their hands on. And nobody's really sure how their lives are going to be affected. So there's a lot of questions and a lot of people who feel out of control. There's a lot of fear and a lot of concern because nobody wants to get sick with this unknown virus. So let's look into what our family is doing regarding the coronavirus and just be brainstorming on what we can all do during this time of concern. Let's just put it that way, because we don't want to be scared. We want to be prepared, right? So let's get into it. It was my plan to make this video a lot sooner. And the reason why I didn't is because I got sick, and I've been sick for a week. Did I have the coronavirus? No. In fact, I had more of a sinus cold condition in my head, but it was not comfortable, and it took about a week to get over. I know who I got this from. I know that person was not intentionally trying to get everyone around them sick. They were actually they were at two different events, these two events we take our kids to each week. And one event they were even preparing food for, but they weren't taking what they had very seriously and really weren't all that worried about it. Now, had it been the coronavirus, we would have all gotten the coronavirus. As it stands, my son got it. He had a bit of a fever, and then my daughter and I got it. Unfortunately, my daughter had it for her birthday, and that was kind of unfortunate. Obviously, it wasn't very enjoyable, but she survived. We are all feeling great now. But I say this because it makes a great point. Not everybody handles sickness the same way, and that's why coronavirus seems to be spreading so quickly. Some people don't know they have it, and others that know they have it treat it like the common cold, like the sinus cold that I had. They go out and they hang out with other people and they pass it, and they're trying to power through it. Also, some people don't take it very seriously. At this same event the kids were at, they were playing a game where everybody was shaking hands over and over. And when my kids and a couple others didn't participate, they were just making jokes. They were calling it pass the coronavirus around, because they weren't taking this all that seriously. Now let's hope they're right. Let's hope this isn't a big deal, that it blows over and all the concern was for nothing. But what if it isn't? Now, I know many people aren't getting horribly sick from it, but it's still something that I think we really need to keep an eye on, stay informed with, and make good choices regarding. So, what's our plan? How are we going to keep an eye on this, and what are we going to do to keep away from this virus? The first thing we're going to do is avoid large groups of people. Any place where there's going to be a great number of people is a perfect opportunity for people to spread whatever it is they have, whether it's the flu, whether it's the coronavirus, whether it's just the common cold. And in this case, we don't necessarily know what everybody has. We can't look at them necessarily and say, oh, they've got it. So avoiding these large groups of people, like going to basketball games, going to church, going to large events like parades and conferences, business. If you can stay home from work, if you can find a way to get permission from your boss to work from home, that's a great idea, because then you're staying away from large groups of people. Honestly, I'd stay away from grocery stores if you can. Our grocery store, our Walmart, does a pickup service where you can pick it up for free, and that's what we plan on doing. Before this ever got too crazy here in our country, we decided to prepare. And so a week or two before the toilet paper was bought out, we went out and we got like rice and beans and some canned foods. We stocked up on a little bit of meat, just mainly things that would not perish, because we didn't really know when all this would hit and the frenzy would begin. And living in a hurricane zone, we knew that sometimes people really react to what they consider a crisis situation in a unusual way at the grocery store. They just buy everything. So usually, like during hurricane season, you're running low on cereal and water for sure, just lots of different things. So we went out ahead of time and bought a bunch of stuff. So if this happened, and it did, then we wouldn't feel like, oh no, we're not going to have enough food. Don't panic if you didn't plan ahead and you didn't get everything you need. I think the stores are going to be able to eventually catch up with the supply and demand. So like in our case, we did not stock up on a whole lot of toilet paper ahead of time. Well, there's no toilet paper anymore. So we're going to either just keep checking like with the pickup service at Walmart to see if they get more in, or we may have to try doing a kind of unusual way of taking care of things, like maybe using old towels or old t-shirts or something like that. I mean, think about how people deal with cloth diapers and then follow that line of thought, because it's not a crisis unless you view it that way. There are ways to problem solve and think through things and make things work. So toilet paper is a luxury. We may be without this luxury for a little while, but probably not for very long. So just think on those lines. If they're out of water in the stores and you're concerned about the quality of your water, then boil it. Boil it, cool it down, drink it. There are ways of dealing with this without feeling like you're completely out of control. So we are going to avoid these large gatherings of people, and even with friends, we're probably going to have to do the awkward thing and say, hey, are you feeling well? Is everybody in your house feeling well? Because there's no sense in risking it. This probably will blow over faster than we think. So call people on the phone, video text, or video call, whatever you gotta do to stay connected. And do stay connected. Check on people. Even if they've got it and you don't want it, you can always bring them food and leave it on their front door. So you can still avoid it while being helpful and loving to the people around you. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Avoiding large groups of people, obviously avoiding plane trips, even domestically. I'm trying to think of just avoiding situations where people might be out and about and not even know they've got the coronavirus. So social distancing is what they've been calling it. Social distance, because it sounds like a really smart thing to do. Okay, it's really bright over here, but it's a lot warmer. So I'm going to just put my shades on. All right, so we've got avoidance. Also, schools. I think our schools in our area are out for the next 2 weeks, and that's pending. They could be out for longer. We just don't know. So trying to avoid these large groups of people is super important. Also, one thing I think that is huge is maintaining your immune system. So during this time, and just any time of the year, it's smart to do this, but really pay attention to eating well, avoiding really large quantities of sugar, because that will lower your immune system. So like if you drink a whole Coke, if it's like a full sugar Coke, you're definitely going to compromise your immune system to some degree. Obviously don't live in fear, but try to moderate that as much as you can. Also, getting lots of sleep is super important. Drinking lots of water is a big deal. They also say if you do contract the coronavirus, drinking lots of water is super important during that time, whether you feel like it or not. But certainly before then, since we're not planning on getting it, we're going to drink lots of water. One thing you can add to your water to help with your immune system is apple cider vinegar. So you can add about a tablespoon to your water, like in the morning when you get up, or just whenever you're willing to drink it, and drink that on a daily basis. Make sure you rinse out your teeth after so you don't mess with your enamel. Let me think. Obviously, lots of vitamin C, eating, leafy greens if you have them. One thing we're planning on doing, depending on how this goes, but I think in spite of how it goes, even if we find that when we get to the grocery store, we are able to get the leafy greens that we want as time goes on, I think we're going to plan on planting a leafy greens in our garden and in small little deck patio, like make a patio garden is what I'm saying. So, because anybody can do that. They can put it in their windowsill and have some little greens growing and whatnot. So you can, that's another way if you're feeling a little bit out of control, you can kind of take control of your situation. So if they don't have fresh items at your grocery store right now, go ahead and plant some. I'm sure Lowe's or any hardware store would have them, whatever, but that's a way to take care of that situation. Stay active and stay strong, because if you're active and strong, your circulation is really going, you're keeping your lungs very strong. What they're saying is if you can do lung exercises to really keep your lungs expanded so they can hold the optimal amount of oxygen, you are really giving yourself a heads up or a head start on the situation. So taking the deepest breath you can, holding it for a few seconds, and then slowly exhaling is a smart thing to do to exercise your lungs and keep the capacity full. This is also great if you get the coronavirus, but even beforehand, be prepared and make sure that you're strong. So get out and walk or exercise in whatever way you enjoy, and just keep your blood pumping, keep your energy level up, keep yourself strong, keep yourself healthy. And again, that sleep factor is big, and it'll help you sleep. If you're getting exercise, you'll be able to sleep. And just stay as positive as you can. Don't go around thinking you're going to get it. Stay positive, stay prepared, and don't speak those words. I'm hearing people say, "Oh, I've probably got the coronavirus." No. If you think you've got something, stay inside, quarantine yourself, obviously, but don't just assume that you have the worst. And obviously don't assume that you've got a fatal case of the coronavirus. Many people get it and they are fine, they get over it, but just stay inside, okay? Stay away from other people if you think you might have it. Also, staying healthy in general is great. So I wasn't real thrilled when I got this cold because I was concerned that my immune system would be compromised. So I'm just doing what I can to build it back up again, and we're just going from there. And we're going to stay as health-minded as possible, keeping prayed up, and just really focusing on what we can do and not on what we can't do to stay healthy. So keeping that immune system strong and avoiding people, two great things that we can do. And let's go on to the third. All right. The third thing that we need to do is to prepare. As you're able to, go ahead and stock up on a few things from the grocery store. Don't go crazy, don't buy them out, because that just adds to the frenzy and adds to the crisis. But stocking up on a few things just in case things do get worse for a while is a really smart way to do it. So making sure you have dried ingredients and put stuff in your freezer so that you have it for later, that would be a really smart choice. I know this is kind of tricky right now to mention because we've had such a run on the grocery stores, but keeping your hands disinfected and anything you touch out in public disinfected. So like if you're shopping and you're pushing your cart, make sure you disinfect it first. Obviously, keep your hands out of your face and eyes and just away from your hair even when you're in public, to just lower your chances of contracting anything really. And we have had a run on the stores, like I said, so most of the current hand sanitizers are already bought up, including all the LO and most of the isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol out there. But if you happen to get your hands on some, go ahead and make the concoction that the WHO put out. But if you didn't get the LO, you can make something that is super good with just rubbing alcohol and water and some essential oils, and that will definitely kick it. So I will be putting out a video later with my recipe for that, but obviously it's just common sense. You mix this, the 60% of the alcohol with water and some essential oils. But I just have some great ideas on that, and that's what we use. We don't use aloe vera, although often I use aloe vera gel for my hair. So when they ran out, I was like, oh no, they ran out of my hair gel. So anyway, just stay as clean as possible. Like everybody's saying, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, and just be smart about things. Use common sense and keep your hands clean. One more thing, in keeping with that, I just remembered, they say those masks that people are wearing are not necessary unless you actually have the coronavirus, and you absolutely have to be out in public, like if you're going to the doctor or something, to wear that so you're protecting other people, because we don't have enough masks for everyone. And I think they're made in China, and they are not able to produce as many right now anyway, so saving them for the people who actually have it is a smart choice. Also, they say to call your doctor first before you go to the office if you're pretty sure you've got the coronavirus, so they can prepare for you ahead of time and get other patients out of there, and probably mask up and everything before you arrive so you're not spreading it there where to other people who may be vulnerable. I'm just going to pop in here right in the middle because I wanted to add something that is perhaps the most real thing that I could say in this whole video regarding this situation. And if you don't believe the same way I do, that's fine. We can still be friends. But my hope is in God. And no matter how crazy this world may get, He is who I will turn to. So if I am watching the news and the statistics are going up as far as fatalities, or I am hearing that there is hysteria or maybe real cause for concern, my choice will be to pray. My choice will be to meditate on God's Word, the Bible, because God is where my true source of peace and joy come from. And that can't be taken away by a crisis or a pandemic. That stays with me. I get to keep that. And so if I didn't jump in here and say this, I really feel like I would be amiss, and I would not be giving you the very best that I feel there is to offer in this situation. So this next point that I will be adding is super great. It's all about staying positive and connecting with your family, making good choices during this time. But one of the best choices I will be making during this time is really staying close to my Creator. Putting all the serious stuff aside, we still have to live. This is not the end of the world. So keeping that in mind, how can you make this a fun time or a special time for yourself or for you and your family? We have 2 kids, and we want to view this as an opportunity to explore new things, to find the adventure in our everyday lives, not to view it as, oh my goodness, we're trapped at home. No, we're going to try new things like planting the lettuce, probably planting the rest of the garden too. We'll probably do some camping. Maybe we won't go to a campground. Maybe we'll camp in our backyard. We're going to try new things, fun things, probably pop a lot of popcorn, watch movies, play games, just finding ways to enjoy things and make this a good memory somehow, instead of a bad memory. We want to teach our kids how to handle a situation that maybe others would view as a crisis. Yes, we must be smart, but being smart doesn't mean that we cower in fear. I think that's a huge mistake. We want to view this as an opportunity and to learn from, stay informed, do things the smart way, abide by whatever the rules the government comes up with for us to stay healthy. But in the meantime, we have lots of choices we can make, lots of cool things that we can do. If we're by ourselves, we can read books, we can learn new things, we can learn a new language for crying out loud, or start learning one. There are just so many options. Find the things that are fun to you that you can do within your home or in low populated areas, like hike, or we're getting into this really good season of the year. It's springtime, it's beautiful outside, and it's easy to go outside and avoid lots of people. So this is a great time to get out and just have fun. Ride your bikes, go hiking, go exploring, go fishing, camping, all the cool stuff that you can think of outside while staying away from large gatherings of people. So make a list, have your family make a list of fun things that they would like to do during this time, and instead of turning it into a sad or scary or frustrating time, turn it into a productive time. Maybe you have some projects at home that you've really been wanting to do, and maybe the whole family can participate. Who knows? The sky's the limit, so to speak. And so make those good choices and choose those fun times that you can have with your family. Use this as a time to discuss things, to learn things, to teach your kids things, or whatever works for you. But try not to get too worried or too scared. Just make those good choices and try to make the best of it with the rest of the world. And again, stay connected with your loved ones. If they live far away, okay, just get on the phone, stay connected, check on people again, take care of each other, and we'll get back with you on another video very soon. Possibly, well, the hand sanitizer video for sure, but then possibly some videos on how to make the best rice and bean meals that we can make during this time. I don't know. For me, that seemed like a smart thing to buy. We've got lots of beans, lots of rice, and if we don't need it, well, then we'll just use it during, as a backup for hurricane season, or I don't know, it's a complete protein, so it'll be good for any time. So I will talk to you soon. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I hope you are able to find the adventure during this time, and don't panic, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.